to the LEC. If you saw on the break stream, me and Vedi just hugging it out, working out our differences.
Drakos just complimenting him non-stop.
Just letting him know how much I love and appreciate him. Just like I know that Fnatic would love and appreciate not having 3 losing lanes. So we'll see where this draft takes them. I'm hoping that game 1 was a bit of a misfire. Otherwise, this series could be a bit anticlimactic. But now Fnatic have the luxury of being on the blue side.
First picking Ivern.
Or first picking Tristana. We'll see what their prio is, man.
We'll wait and see. Zeri, Maokai, and Fnatic. What will it be? Sejuani.
It's time for the first pick Ivern.
It's the Ivern first pick.
Because Ivern's normally like picked into Sejuani sometimes. But yeah.
Ooh, there you go. Baited
Karthus
the
again?
ban.
Fnatic?
Xayah maybe.
Nah. They look
could be.
They look
surprised to see
Tristana, Xayah. They have loads of options.
I mean, you take Tristana, they take what? Xayah, Jace? Or Xayah and a counter?
LeBlanc maybe.
I mean, Rakan is also picking maybe.
Bam.
Could do Xayah, LeBlanc, Xayah, anything really. And you know, jungle pool gets a bit weird with these 5 jungler spend. So we'll
Poppy is the other big one that I think we should call attention to as a champion that doesn't, or that frequently makes it through the pick ban phase, but obviously is just very powerful in the meta.
Yeah, Poppy, Viego, it's kind of things we're looking at now. If they want to early pick jungle, can leave it till later. Wukong's another one that can work.
Yeah.
Wukong is something we haven't seen in the LEC for a while. Xayah makes a lot of sense. BDS did ban it last game. They continue to value it now. You also talked about the Poppy. Good call out. It looks to be the current hover for Sheo. It's going to be locked in.
It's
so
bundle time.
Could very well be the good old matchup of Poppy versus Trundle.
Could be Poppy flex top and then Trundle counterpicked, but oh, are we running it back? I mean, they have Tristana mid, so I guess I can see more here. That's a pushing lane in most matchups. That's a lot of kill pressure.
Just about every matchup.
Yeah.
But do they?
Oh, okay. Hit bold.
Double down, baby.
Double down.
Oh, there we go. That's more like
All right,
it. Now we got some firepower. Now the Karthus is smiling. He's got firepower.
Got some backup and no magic damage.
Yes.
Crucially, outside of
if
they big zigs on 4, woo, I'm leaving the caster desk.
Maybe that's their plan.
It means that Renekton doesn't fall off late game. See, that's the strat. Overstack AP for OP Renekton.
Good news, they don't have to worry about the Corp Mole Braum. Bad news, this could be a Poppy flex. They could still pick a jungler that has, I mean, Poppy has a lot of playmaking, but has a lot of teamfight potential. And they're going to get banned out on AD. There's CS real. I wouldn't be surprised.
But what would you pick into a Karthus if it was like, if you flex the Poppy top, what would you do? Would you have like a pick that you'd sit there and tell your team, insta-lock me X? Insta-lock me Evelyn.
He plays 2 champions, so he might. Yeah.
The thing with Karthus is all he's going to do is power clear, and you can never, I mean, you can try and interrupt his clear, but you're never going to out-farm him in the end. So you have to play playmaking. So unless you're thinking of like Poppy top and Jarvan or something, it doesn't really make sense to take this Poppy away from jungle. I think just slamming in the jungle is
the only other thing is you could match something to try and match the scaling or something, I guess, but
yeah, I think just
any other options.
Depends, because I mean, Olaf's up, so you could just play Olaf into this.
True. And I feel like Fnatic, just can't even worry about the potential that Poppy could go top. They just have to double ban top lane.
Yeah, as much as you're going to have a volatile top matchup, if Adam wants to pick a carry, you can't impact it as Karthus because you lose 2v2. You can impact it with ult. It's just Wunder's life's going to be living hell against Olaf Poppy in the early stages where Karthus is like, yeah, you're on your own, buddy. Like, there's not much you can do there. So there's the Rakan ban.
Yeah.
So maybe it's Fnatic who wants a Braum.
I'm wondering if this Olaf is actually going to come through.
Or what if this is Karthus AD? Just going to throw that out there.
That's a decent point, and one that concerns me greatly.
Yeah, there's the Jack. So it's carry versus carry, but I think they're just going to pick full bot lane here. I mean, Tristana is necessary in mid lane right now.
Okay, Aphelios, this would line up with our expectations of Noah thus far this year. I will say on the side of BDS, you know, the Poppy and the Xayah, both champions who have looked pretty solid across the board. Poppy especially has disrupted so many teams. As long as she's been popular.
I'm a little concerned about the amount of engage that Fnatic have.
Oh, you mean the 0 engage that Fnatic have?
Engage, that one.
Maybe Aphelios will have purple gun when we need it, and we'll
thinking to myself, would they consider Leona?
What if they go, yeah, and what if they go melee on 5 against that?
No.
That sounds like a pain if BDS go that route. Alistar?
Oh, Alistar's also. Well, I don't...
It has to be engage.
They might just go for Braum then here at BDS again.
Do teams just not like Leona?
You pick your poison.
I remember in the LPL it was still a fair, played a decent amount. I mean, Alistar's still fine as an engage, but Miasma's going to make Alistar really miserable. Xayah ultimate. Braum.
Labrov's on Braum duty today. Into Nautilus, into Alistar, just always pick it up.
I just feel like when the enemy team has 2 AD carries, Braum is really broken.
It is. But yeah, you're not wrong 100%. Okay. But I do agree. I like what Fnatic's done. They've got a lot more AD. Karthus is not going to be up against a more AD carry, a third item. He's going to have lanes that actually are volatile in top and pushing in mid. He's got an engaged support that can really start to force things. And it does make Karthus' life a lot easier. Now it's on Sheo. 2 options. One is find the Karthus and push the Karthus out of his jungle and interrupt his clear to make him not scale as well in that sense. 2, spam gank the hell out of every lane, blow all their flashes, kill the Tristana prio but with like a level 3 gank mid, and then Karthus is back to his my lanes are getting pushed in, I need help kind of scenario. Both are quite hard to pull off. One requires a lot of vision, one requires a lot of setup, but I think that BDS have the setup if Sheo wants to just play for that aggression. Or I think a level 1 invade would be insane. Poppy, Braum, Xayah, just go into his red or Raptors level 1 or something and just try to just disrupt him from level 1 could be good.
And those kind of aggressive early invades are something Sheo and BDS are notorious for. We'll see if it's something Fnatic can prep for or if it's even something that they have to worry about it. For Fnatic fans, hopefully feeling a little bit better about some of the lanes that they've been able to draft themselves this time around. BDS up 1 game. Fnatic the luxury of side selection after their loss. Really need to get their feet under them if they want to come back in this series.
BDS currently leading 1-0. The winner will join Man and G2 in Montpellier. The loser will have an opportunity to fight the Golden Guardians to qualify for the World Championship. Exciting stuff. We'll see this time around how the Karthus works. Caedrel has already laid out for us the significant differences this time around with the pushing lanes that they have. Or one thing to remember though is not only is Nuke very comfortable on the Cassio, we've seen both Nuke and Caps play this matchup and be able to gain pretty massive advantages, but I think it can be a pretty big skill matchup. A lot of it depends on how many skill shots you land, how well you trade, when you're trading in the lane, all these sorts of things. So whether or not Humanoid can consistently get that push, we will see as the lane continues. But so far, a very safe line of scrimmage as we see Labrov actually moving in.
Trymbi.
It's going to be 1 stack on the concussive blows, not quite going to be able to get in range there. Trymbi opting for the phase rush. Alistar much stronger post level 6, much weaker pre-6.
How much? 9. That's 14, baby, in the bank.
Big money.
That's a gold.
Dinner's on Razork.
There you go. Fnatic are ahead.
Look at the Xayah Braum. Look at where they're going. They're trying to find information. Gonna ward out his Krugs in case he's gonna do something like a red Krugs into top side.
I mean, this is the exact same play we saw from Adam on the top side of the map. It seems that BDS are pretty committed to getting early information on those starting Krugs.
And Noah pinged the ward, so +5. That's 19 gold lead already for Fnatic for being aware of the level 1.
Yeah.
Damn, you are a glass half full kind of guy.
Oh, the game's already won, I'm telling you.
See if Sheo can do anything to disrupt this crushing lead of Fnatic. Disrupt. Just assume I said the correct word there. But overall, I mean, have to see. Obviously, in isolation, we expect the lanes of Fnatic to do a bit better this time around. Would be hard to do much worse. These are the forward percentage statistics for BDS in Game 1. This is the time they spend past the halfway mark. Keep in mind, 50 is a disgusting number because this includes when you base, the time you spend outside a lane. 50 is gross. 80 is near impossible, and Adam did it. That's a 5-plate lane.
Yeah, because it's percentage, right? So if during 14 minutes of play,
from I believe 3 to 14 minutes. Yeah,
what's 80% of 14?
Is almost your entire
10, 11
time.
minutes,
he
something like that.
He literally didn't go back to his own tower once, outside of when he walked
bear in mind,
past
like
it to return
the
to
first
lane.
2 minutes of the game, he's literally.
Is that a record?
I mean, you know.
Unless the enemy laner's DC, and I'm convinced that's a record. Look at Sheo. Here comes the spam gank early action, force plays rather than invading. Because look, he's finished 3 camps. Karthus is on his 6th camp, right? There's no way you can get there in time. So it's a dive top angle. Razork, I mean, they have bot push, so he can't invade his bot side, but they need to pull this off here, BDS.
Wonder what can you actually do to get out of this one? Absolutely nothing.
So Karthus helps the volatile lanes with ult, but before that, Karthus can't help the volatile lanes without ult. So Poppy goes up and ganks. Braum then goes into his bot side jungle here. Razork wants to invade and take away camps and try and use this as a window to get a lead. Because the gold, you can see, despite getting 400 on this first blood, he's only 100 down right now. And if he gets his blue, they're pretty much in a fine state. It's only Wunder that's going to suffer.
Oh, nice side step there from Humanoid. We talked about how volatile this matchup can be. You're seeing the trades go back and forth. Nuke, not going to be the first to base, but Razork and Trymbi
getting so many camps.
Yeah, that he is.
This is a Karthus dream.
I mean, this is one of the big difference makers that you were talking about in the draft, right? How the fact that Sheo looking for these early opportunities does also open windows for Razork, getting close to level 5 already. He's going to get the Wolves too. Sheo only 3 camps secured.
This is a horror for the Poppy. He's going to have 4 camps in 4 minutes. Wunder's waves pushing out, but Razork saying, brother, tank the L. I'm going to carry, I promise.
He's just like, top lane's not a real lane anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, all things considered, not looking too bad yet. We'll have to see how oppressive Adam can get with the little bit of a lead he's been able to build on the back of that gank coming in from Sheo. But a bit of a nice change of pace from game 1, just as we have junglers with different goals. So instead of just the endless power farm fest, you got one power farmer versus someone who absolutely needs to gank, doubled by the fact that the person who needs to gank is 20 CS behind now.
It's 10-5 in camps, right? He lost 5 camps for a gank, and he got the first blood in there even. It's just Adam needs to be the one. It's going to be an Adam versus Razork if he just keeps spam ganking top, right? Adam doesn't have TP. Wunder based on a bad wave, so this kind of sucks for him, but Adam's now kind of locked in his lane. Now it's a case of, can Razork help Wunder crash this wave and or push Adam back? Or will Sheo just gank him on this wave quickly? Sheo's like, well, that's my Krugs. Here I come. Round 2.
This is going to be a very fast level 6 for Karthus as well.
Yeah.
On the bottom side. Headbutt pull combo. Labrov coming in, but even Unbreakable at this point is going to be just a little bit late, trying to fire back. Forced accident because of blow, forcing out the cleanse in the trade. Well played by BDS. Feather pullback doesn't connect, however.
So now bot lane's in a very precarious state. I'll hold my breath because I can jump in here and get a flash.
Humanoid getting aggressive. Wall of Pain now laid down. Nuke immediately forced to flash out, but he's already been slowed, and Humanoid wants a bit more. The reset, leaping in and leaping right back out.
He's level 6 in 5 minutes. What? There's a Karthus ult on the map. Wunder's level 4. Like, what?
So this is what was supposed to happen.
Yeah. So this is what happens in scrims.
Right. Okay, I get it. I mean, Sheo didn't do the wrong thing, right? His early gank top, the idea was so that he could get one of those lanes ahead because he knew he could match Razork in the early farm, but the window that he opened for Razork, he's now just ballooning this jungle matchup out of control.
I mean, he thought that his bot push would merit enough to stop Razork from getting into his bot side, but then he needs to retake, I think. When the blue buff's gone and you know that they're down there, you need to get the Braum and the Poppy team up and push him out and not give him the Gromp and the Wolves as well, and then you need to chase him into his own jungle and slow him down. It's this Raptors Krugs into regank top to stop the collapse on the wave, but Adam was too low to fight the 2v1, and Wunder was healthy enough with flash that he could just back away. And so it's 64-24, 700 gold lead.
And that is a full 2-level difference.
Yeah, look at Sheo. He's going to finish Gromp down Wolves and get level 5, but Razork's just going to brute force his way into bot side.
And both the AD carries have Cole, so Fnatic sitting pretty in this early game, most certainly. Very comfortable. Gonna have the extra gold income because of the Cole, gonna have the extra gold income because Razork takes half a second to delete a camp.
I know obviously like jungle farm, not, you know, because it's in 4s, right? But I just looked at the jungle CS difference and it was like, oh, there's only a 40 CS difference between the 2 junglers.
Yeah, sure.
Should be secure for Sheo though.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Closer to level 6, still a full level behind, but this will be Fnatic denying BDS first dragon. This will, I mean, BDS loves their first dragon.
Yeah.
I can tell you if this was solo queue Karthus, he doesn't walk into River. He just takes Poppy's top side. I don't care about Dragon. I take Raptors, I take Krugs, I ward, I go to my top side again. Just keep the power farming machine alive. And, oh, Humanoid in second.
Back, instant combo! What?
It's big power!
Oh my god! What? Oh!
They're playing tennis with Nuke!
Oh my god! That was one of the coolest things I have seen in a really long time.
Dude,
wow.
Screw Nadal. Let's see.
We need a name for that. What is that?
That's Wimbledon, baby, right there. That right there is Wimbledon. Oh my god.
Oh man.
That was
Get us that replay.
That was so clean.
What a goal. Yeah.
That's like the tiki-taka.
Oh, I need a replay ASAP. Sheo looking to steal away.
He doesn't even have his upgraded smite. He needs 20 to get the upgraded smite right
True,
now.
actually.
Only at 600.
Alright, so it's Humanoid to set up the serve, right?
Yeah.
And then look, he sets up the serve, and then Trymbi with the receive. Passes it over to Razork, the finisher.
The spiker.
The spiker.
We were wrong. It's not tennis, it's volleyball, baby.
It's volleyball, yeah, exactly. You're right. They passed the ball 2 times, slammed it down.
Biggity bam.
Well played. Wow. Where was the defense with BDS?
It's really tough, man. To be fair, they were locked bot lane, really trying to sort out whatever the heck is going on.
That was a proper VAR.
There it is.
Well, the Haikyuu fans going wild right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't remember if it was Haikyuu or not. I got too distracted by Blue Lock, but yes, Haikyuu coming in. Noah, good gun combo for the fight. Unbreakable going to fade away there, but they're able to kill the turret to stop any potential follow-up damage. And you can see this time around, Fnatic bot lane feeling a lot more comfortable here in the early stages.
Karthus has a pushing lane. Bot lane has push. He can invade and take away the Poppy's camps, or he can dive. This is so perfect for the Karthus.
It's happening though. Poppy not in the vicinity. Razork's like, wait, dive? No, I can still jungle camp.
I can get level 8.
And obviously for Fnatic, much stronger early game. Complete night and day here as BDS bot lane completely unable to farm. This was the game plan Razork talked about in the interview. Just go bottom lane. Just shut their bottom lane out of the game. This time around he has the tools and resources to do it.
And it's so funny because in game 1, Caedrel has said, normally when we see Fnatic get ahead early, it's Razork, you know, having agency in the early game. It's like, yeah, now the map belongs to Razork, and the team give him a few more resources, and look at how quickly Fnatic are controlling. And the problem is if you're BDS, I mean, anyone that's ever played solo queue against the Karthus, you know how out of control this gets too, because he just doesn't stop.
Yeah, he doesn't. And if you get 3 quadrants in the first 4 minutes of the game, it's like you're planting your crops. You come back at 9 minutes, you're just harvesting everything. Like, he's level 8 right now. Sheo is barely scratching towards level 7. Maybe a 2-level lead. He's not even at level 7 off the Wolves. And now he can base here Razork after Krugs, run to Herald. Sheo finally is gonna... Oops. Yeah, he did with the jungle pet get his upgraded smite. And, yeah, does he have the injuries at 9 minutes, 40 seconds? Does he have his minting already?
Yeah. There it is. 9:46. Thank you, Santander. Yeah. Razork living his life like a man who had no prospects but invested in Bitcoin in 2015 and has just been living like a king ever since.
And he knows everything about business.
Yeah, he's just... Whatever ambitions you had, you're just not going to beat the wealth of a man who got nickel Bitcoin. There it is.
He's going to make a video and he's going to be explaining it. So all you need to do is start off
passive
with a
income.
quadrant,
Passive income.
3-quadrant jungle start.
Clear.
That's all you need.
Small loan of $1 million from your laners. Really bring home those advantages.
He's going to start off the Herald now.
Suffering from success.
Yeah. I don't think he's suffering at all. That's what I will say. That's going to be the 2-man route. Trymbi now immediately going to go for the follow-up. Nice bit of disengage there as Nuke flashes out to safety. Ticking time bomb. Leandri's burning. Oh, you can't do him like that. The rich just getting richer.
Level 9 ticked over for Razork. He gets
We're going
the
to the moon.
as well. Oh my word. Fnatic are running away with this early game. Now we kind of have to think things for BDS. Adam kind of continuing to perform in the way that he did in game 1. Of course, that early gank doing him wonders. But now the rest of the map really snowballing. A full tower secured for Humanoid. 2 plates in the bot lane. They're going to get another hit off as well in mid.
And compositionally, if you just look at the comps, Fnatic having a small gold lead wouldn't be nearly as difficult as it was in the previous game to come back. BDS have more tools to come back, more tools to fight, but this is not a small gold lead. This is crushing. So while they have a Poppy, while they have a lot of creative tools to disrupt fights, Razork is very scary.
Did he even hit the second Q there?
No, yeah, he did.
Wait, he hit one.
I thought that was just a single Q.
Yeah, I think he hit 2 Qs on Poppy there as she was recalling. So,
Caedrel's our VAR.
Yeah, it was 2, yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
We gotta have VAR in this game. We're seeing so many different kinds of what's going on.
Wunder going to try to hold on here again. The last strong point of the map is Adam on the top side. He's going to make good on that early investment, or is he? Wunder's still living! This man's career is just surviving. He's healing! Adam taken down!
Wunder's doing his job perfectly. Razork farming the map, Wunder tank all the ganks. And he's one of our best top laners tanking ganks.
It's always Wunder. Always trying to tank the gank, because once again we go for the setup here.
And look, is that bot camps that are available?
Ooh, is that the level 4 camps ready for me on Wolves? But there's the Braum. Looks like Crownie's like,
that a level 10 for Razork?
Yeah, Radiant Virtue coming out for Sheo. He's gonna take the 2-level L in a second in 12 minutes, which is the worst position as a jungler. You're just so mentally out of it. You're like, well, I give up. I'm not farming. I'll give all my camps to my carries and just be a tank bot. But this is a comp with Karthus. It's gonna be sitting on 2 Drakes.
Yes it is. I mean, props to Wunder. He played that dive about as well as he could have.
Yeah,
Adam
getting a 1-for-1.
Adam tanking the tower for 1 too many shots, and that Wunder had a window to flash. Then he could build the rage, get the heal off from his Q, and then as you rightly said, Drakos trade 1-for-1. Means that Razork just gains more advantages on the bot side of the map, and this is kind of just going from bad to worse for BDS, because it feels like that they just don't have any options. Where can they even play for right now? They want to try and unlock this top tower, get a little bit more gold for themselves, but Fnatic are very quickly snowballing this game out of control.
I have to say props to Humanoid too. He's just been really consistent. He had a lot of pressure in just keeping mid-push, not faltering to Sheo's ganks, and being ready to move to cover Humanoid whenever. Razork, sorry, whenever. But not only did he do that and have constant mid-push, he also set up plays for Razork as well, which I think really unlocked the map and got those kills onto the Karthus.
Definitely Humanoid has had a ton of success on the Tristana thus far in the season finals. You know, two very different games. BDS, when they were winning, it felt like choking out Fnatic, whereas Fnatic much more explosive with the composition they put together. Humanoid trying to backstep, but doesn't get the timing quite right. Now firing back, but again, the two-level discrepancy here, making it so hard for him to punish. And Labrov, that's not your jungle anymore. That belongs to the skeleton with $1 million. He purchased that land at a discount rate from your very broke Poppy.
Adam trying to trade back here. He should be able to... Never mind, he's not getting that kill.
Nope.
Is that a solo kill?
Technically, yes.
Is he
Now here comes the rain down. Crownie gonna try to fire back. Humanoid leaping out. No! Knocks him out of the sky. Questionable serve there from Humanoid, but does still get a kill.
Yeah, if Crownie wasn't there, that would have looked really cool, because he would have got the reset on the card still, and then he would have jumped out, but not in time. And you can see Razork rushing a Rabadons. 135 CS, 2k gold lead now, and for Fnatic, it's not only do you have the luxury of having side lane push and winning side lanes now that Wunder got that kill with the Karthus ult in the pressure, but also you're stacking dragons. You can just constantly just look for a dragon soul.
What isn't he stacking right now? Like, only a Medjay, as far as I can tell.
He could have gone Cole. You know?
Cull Medjay.
Yeah, Cole, take the lane minions, everything is his. Funnel. Just bring back funnel.
Humanoid now going top. He's like, hello boys, you've been ganking my top lane out. Here's
knock up, no stun on a Humanoid. Humanoid's going to delete Adam. They're going to go for the knockback into the wall. Humanoid is still alive. He's going to wait for that to expire because there's no kill pressure on him, and those Nuke wants to fully commit, and he managed to find it. So finally, BDS find a sliver of hope on the top side of the map. Knockback now. Labrov will be sacrificed here. Has to walk back to the wall of pain. That was a tough one.
Definitely a bit of a blunder there from Labrov. After they get that kill onto Humanoid, he then face checks the brush, gets knocked back into Razork, and then even commits the flash, thinking that he can get away to safety. Does mean that Fnatic get a kill back. Sorry, BDS get it. Well, yeah, no, it's Fnatic get a kill back after what was a pretty good play from BDS overall in the top lane. They interrupt the TP from Wunder by focusing the tower down. It ends up being, I forget, 2 for 1 because Adam died at the beginning of that play.
Yep. The thing is, BDS are in a very kind of similar situation to what Fnatic was in last game. Just have to force, because this Karthus is just going to keep power farming. The solo lanes will get stronger. The dragons are stacking. You need to find plays and overload lane. This is exactly what they did here. Adam really wants to get that tower, but he dies before or just as it falls. So Sheo gets the stun. TP from Nuke makes it so they get the kill.
Yeah, I think Wunder could have TP'd to a minion there.
Oh, the tower died.
Yeah, exactly. Tower dies, which means that he can't join the fight. Then means Humanoid ends up dying. And at this point, BDS need to disengage. Instead, Labrov, when his teammates are disengaging, chooses to face check the brush. And then flashes afterwards as it just hands over another kill.
Yeah.
Now, if he gets caught out again later on, it's going to be easy pickings for Fnatic.
That brief moment of miscommunication where he thinks that this is a play where they have to keep going to get more value out of it, but ultimately it just cost him his life, and unfortunately his flash as well. Ult will be up shortly, but we'll take stock of the map as a whole. 6 seconds till the next Herald is going to spawn up. A minute until that third Drake for Fnatic if they do want to go for it. Of course, the threat onto Baron from either side is pretty significant as we get later in the game. For now, Razork just going to be uncontested on the second Herald spawn. Here comes the next attempt on the Wunder, but I think they're just looking for the tower objective bounty. Just trying to zone Wunder away from getting the creep so they can actually force this down. And they'll look to back away. Moving out, we'll grab a tower back. Get a nice bit of gold in their pocket. Still a 5k deficit here.
Dragon in 32 seconds now. Fnatic need to quickly reset, get back out on the map. Low is going to be a little late here, along with Trymbi. The vision control is okay, but they really don't have much control over the river. Fortunately for them, Duke doesn't have TP, and it looks like that he's not going to reset to contest.
The good news for BDS is they have a locket. Bad news is Karthus is past level 11 and has a death cap at 17 minutes. So the locket will help a little bit, mitigate that initial impact. But you talked about ulting early in a fight, Mark, Caedrel, in the previous game. This is a pretty easy decision if BDS do try to contest. Also level 13 inbound, that's a 3 level. It's painful, you know, you're in a competitive game, it's stronger, you just have to suck it up. You're 3 levels down. You have to accept it and just know that you're a tank bot. And yeah, here comes a push for bots here too. Looks like they have a wave stacked up. They've dropped complete mid push, but they have
all 5 members of bot side of the map right now. Razork did not put that Herald where he wanted to.
Delaying the charge.
Maybe it was genius. Maybe they got the tower without the charge because BDS thought it was gone. Now the Herald will probably just die for no reason, unless they want to try and threaten.
They're going to escort it in.
A bit risky here, but Fnatic happy to take that risk. Razork just lays down the wall of pain. They're shredding through the wave. Double AD carries into Karthus. Yeah, should crash. That'll be about it.
damage.
Charge coming through, and Razork just returning to his home, the jungle, where he farms.
No. Sheo's jungle.
Sheo's no, it's Razork's jungle. I don't know. Again, he purchased the land. We've been over this. Knock up into Crownie. Crownie now immediately going to be forced to ult, but Fnatic just walk away. Excellent discipline there on the play. Not overcommitting, not risking anything, just happy to have the ult.
I mean, I will say they did commit Trymbi's flash there. I might hurt him later. Razork was found Sheo.
Sheo now the knockback in the wall. Crownie, does he have the room to follow up? Knock up there from Sheo. That's the full combo, but Humanoid going over the wall, knowing that that's an easy target. That's a stopwatch. Crownie picked it up just a moment ago, but it will not be enough. Noah coming over the wall, cleansing, laying down so much damage, but it's Humanoid on the backside. Nuke now running. Knockback there, and down comes the Requiem for BDS. Labrov will burn to death. Nuke just barely holding on.
Yeah, you can use the lifesteal onto the creeps, get a little bit of healing through as Leandris ticks away at his health bar. But I think the most important thing here is Summoner's Blow, Nuke, no flash. Crownie had to use the heal and the ult. Labrov falls, and I think when the Baron comes up now, I think Fnatic can just really look to force it.
I mean, Razork ends up getting pinned against the wall by Sheo. The damage is pretty good from Crownie as well. Then Humanoid says, you know what, I can just kill Crownie here. Insane burst, but a stopwatch keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Then the flash and promote, you think at this point it's going to do insane damage, but the Unbreakable combined with the Locket actually means Labrov soaks it all up, and Nuke isn't really at any threat of anything. So Noah ends up losing his life. Trymbi's end up forced out of the fight, and if it wasn't for the Karthus ultimate, this fight could have gone very differently. And I think Fnatic need to just bear in mind that while they're in a very good position, they don't want to overforce their hand, because BDS are looking for scraps like this. Every time they can maybe get a shutdown, maybe get a bit of extra gold, it buys them a little bit more time to find ways back into the game.
And it is the exact inverse of what we saw in the previous game. Yes, the compositions are different, but once again, we have a team, in this case Fnatic, in a commanding position, expected to win the game, but need to close it out cleanly, especially as you look ahead to more games in this series.
Is BDS looking to sneak a Baron or something? I mean, if they're looking for the flank of the Sentry, the Pink's gonna expose that play, but they've given up all hope on mid-push, looking for some deep vision, maybe looking to see if they can
But Fnatic's just gonna take this tower.
They see them, so they're just gonna run it down mid.
All right, time for Tristana to delete a tower, as God intended. She will take that down. All the champion does is shred objectives.
She is a battering ram.
And that's going to be inhibitor down. Of course, BDS went for, oh, yeah, there it is. Went for a little jaunt, just fishing for anything at this stage of the game.
I'm surprised Fnatic aren't forcing the Nash, but I think they're just conscious of the Dragon spawn. Maybe they just want to play it safe, get the Dragon.
You know, it's just reminded me of that meme where it's like, do you like my jungle? Your jungle. My jungle.
My jungle.
Like,
you made this?
I love the
I
stats.
made this.
Yeah, I love the stat of like how many wolves Sheo actually got to kill, or how many.
I think Grumps would
yeah,
be a good one.
I don't know if he must have gotten one, right? But it wasn't a lot.
Between the Ivern game and this Poppy game, he has not spent a lot of time auto-attacking his own.
That would be a stat. Number of times auto-attack to Grom. Razork getting closer to level 15. If the level disparity wasn't enough before, he said, well, I'm just going to make it bigger.
And at this point, Sheo probably just objectively shouldn't be taking farm from his carries. So, sympathetic to that struggle.
Yeah, that's the pain. You know, you're behind, and what your team will say is, look, buddy, this is going to sting.
What
you're
are you
going
to do with your Randuin's completion?
What is a Ruby Crystal going to win us the game?
Yeah. Because me having enough money for a stopwatch might, but I don't think... no more money for you, Mr. Poppy.
So Dragon spawning at 45, but Fnatic are pinging the Baron. He's put a ping down. Noah's going to place it, and he's going to
aggro the Baron.
Gun. Yeah, get his green one up, it looks like, but yeah, no Baron force coming in. They're waiting for the Dragon. Wunder space ready with TP. Trymbi's going in.
Knockback. Labrov, unbreakable the wrong way. That's going to cost him his life, just about. Oh, that's embarrassing.
What's everyone's HP? How much gold did he just get from that first strike hit? I think he got like 300 or something.
That was a worthwhile investment. Oh, Noah committing the Gale Force.
Now flashing out to safety again. Fnatic in such a dominant position. Inhibitor down as well. Do they just want to push in and try to end here?
You got 206 gold from pressing R there, plus the kill.
So he's basically like Draven.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to secure these Dragon Soul. They don't even want to force the Baron or flip it or allow any sort of steal. Comes in the 4-level lead for the Karthus.
Just like game one, if you're the losing team, you're mainly just thinking about what can we change for next game. Obviously, Fnatic realized why their Karthus pick didn't work in game one, and they made adjustments. Being on blue side probably helped a lot, being able to secure that Tristana very early. BDS will likely be able to go back to the blue side in game 3, and they can already start thinking about, okay, how do we find ways to do with this Karthus? How do we shut it down? Do we actually consider banning it away?
Yeah.
and solutions to the predicament that they now find themselves.
But this is the thing with BDS. When you're against a Karthus and you give up 3 quadrants of the jungle, the only thing you can do is double down. Poppy will never catch up. You will never be able to find a way to catch up and recuperate the lost camps and level lead unless the game slows down enough. But then you're allowing them to scale up, and they're going to have constant mid-push, and they're going to get objectives. So you just have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. So these plays will always start to backfire and become even more difficult. So Fnatic will just pick up an easy Baron, shield, tingle.
Yeah, Trymbi going to keep him out of the area. This is, again, clean Baron take for Fnatic, as expected, with the nigh insurmountable gold lead that they have managed to build up. Adam will fire back with an objective bounty on the bottom side. Nice to have that bit of extra gold.
Yeah, it's just, it's kind of a matter of time at this point. Very similar to what we saw in Game 1. BDS had such a great draft in Game 1. They completely mitigated what the Karthus wanted to do. Crownie, with his Cogmore, was completely untouched. But now we just see good adaptation from Fnatic moving into the second game. They're now beginning their siege onto the base of BDS.
And we'll see if blue side continues to remain the favorite for both teams, as BDS will have the luxury of side selection if they do lose this game. Trymbi on stage, trying to keep calms clean, asking his teams to remember when it was time to play aggro. Nice thing about being in the studio, you can just hear everything Trymbi says to his team.
He's also just loud. He reminds me of Yanko's.
Gonna walk up here, Fnatic. They have the TP on the Renekton ready. Mid nips down. If they can get this top nip down, they can move into bot. But eventually BDS are gonna have to match this bot wave or engage. And Fnatic are waiting for them to make that decision. Are you gonna cover this bot side and we're gonna get this inhibitor, or are you gonna fight us and we're gonna have to TP in and fight you back? They do nothing, they're just gonna lose triple inhib.
Right now, BDS have opted
to
do nothing. Yeah, seeing that this is, or deciding this is not their window of opportunity to fight, but hard to imagine many other windows left remaining as Fnatic pushing in, ready to end. 3 inhibitors down, don't even need to wait for double super creeps. Down goes the Requiem, Poppy ult comes out. They're gonna deny the Requiem, they're gonna kick the fight off immediately. Managed to isolate Trymbi off to the side. Humanoid, excuse me, as he's burned through. Adam finding a single kill, but no, again, untouched. Razork returning to the fight. BDS are simply too far behind. 10 minutes earlier, and a little bit less of a gold deficit. Maybe they could have found advantage in the fight with the Poppy ult. The stun coming in from the Jax will not be enough. Kill on the Humanoid will not stop this push from coming through as Nuke is knocked back into the waiting arms of Noah. Razork just continuing to lay the Skittles down. Wunder on a killing spree as Labrov just going to retreat right back to the fountain. Fnatic striking back in Game 2 to tie up the series.
2 very one-sided blue side wins. Right now, Fnatic living and dying by the Karthus. We'll see what the adaptations are in Game 3, but we've got a very interesting series on our hands, and I guess this goes to show like what a scrim game can look like, right? Because this is exactly the idea that Fnatic had, how quickly you can snowball this champion out of control and how suffocating it can be, but you need that good environment around it to really enable the champion.
And I'm curious to see what BDS's decision is on how to approach this. Do they take the Karthus away? Do they identify that the pushing lanes are actually the problem and the Karthus isn't the concern? They have some options.
I think the Tristana and Renekton are the concern. Like, the Karthus ban can come through, but as long as you deny Tristana and Renekton, you're really denying a lot of volatility that they want in the double AD solo laners. This draft was so much better than the Game 1 draft for the Karthus.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, the struggle with these two games is they're so dominant that a lot of the nuance gets lost outside of the draft discussion, because it's like, you're going to criticize someone when they're playing 6K down and they go for a crazy play. It's like, it's what they have to do. But that's enough from us here at the Caster Desk. Let's send it back over to the analysts.
Thank you for all the nuance, even though a lot of it's going to be about draft as well, I guess. But hey, Karthus isn't crap.
Yeah, I mean, I like Karthus. I just don't think we liked the situation it was put in the last game. This was a great example of how it can work.
It was. What do you think?
I mean, Karthus was great, but I'm not really sure if it was even like the Karthus so much. I just feel like they drafted so much more agency in the game with like the Renekton and the Tristana. Sure, Renekton got sacrificed to the gods a little bit, and you know, Karthus got a huge lead off of that, and I'm really, really happy that he managed to do that invade while his top laner was getting sacrificed, because sometimes it happens that, you know, they're not really ready for this to happen, and then if your jungler is a little bit late on his tempo to invade there, then this snowball doesn't happen, or this trade-off doesn't happen, because I think, Wunder blundered the matchup, you know, by playing it like that and not, you know, playing the first level correctly. But it was really, really nice to see the Karthus capitalize off of that and, you know, take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and I think that the main thing with like the Karthus in the jungle is Karthus can be mega useless if put behind, but if it gets even a slight edge, you just stop being able to fight it, right? Like Poppy, after coming off the top dive, if you're down 2 levels, like in that situation, even just a level, right? Like it becomes really hard to like walk into the enemy jungle, especially when you've also lost control over mid. So I think it's actually really important that instead of like stabilizing side lanes, it's much more important when you're playing versus the Karthus to like play through mid lane first and then into the enemy jungle. Otherwise, wherever you show up, Karthus is going to be level 6 and you can't gank anymore.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they kept sacrificing Wunder in that sense because he started falling really, really far behind. And the thing is, in League, you should keep always playing to your winning lanes at all times, because the thing is, the moment you go and stabilize your weaker lane, that's when the enemy team gets to, you know, start making cross-map plays and all of this. Yeah, as you can see, he started Q, so this is bound to happen, especially now after this. It's like, in this matchup right now, people, what they usually do, they just start E and they just let the wave bounce and try to bait the E from Jax so the wave pushes past them. But the thing is, like, yeah, he also got level 2. It's just like, you know, a lot of errors. But back to my point, I think it's great that they just didn't go top at all. I think the first time we saw jungler going top was around like 10 minutes. And until then, he just did everything in his power to get as ahead as possible.
Yeah, look at the jungle pathing through all this, right? It's 3 camps into top lane for Sheo going for the dive, which goes great, right? Nothing Wunder can really do in this situation. In the meantime, by the time that gank happens, the Karthus has full cleared both quadrants of his jungle and is walking into the enemy blue buff with potential control with his bot side having pushed there too. So he's able to take virtually everything on that side, then recycle into another top side clear for him. Yeah. Now, at the same time, it does look doomed for top.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, let's look at top. Top is just... yeah, I mean...
there's like 6 range minions that's perma-frozen.
Like, mechanically, I feel like he's misjudging the wave or like executing the whole sequence on the wave a little bit poorly, but this is gonna happen at one point because Jax has item advantage. He's already super strong from this, and now that the fact that Jax has this free series, just the lane is completely over for Renekton.
And look where Sheo is. Sheo ran back to top side, so his bot side is getting invaded. All 3 camps
there's nothing more he can do.
And he's like, I gotta run top to make a play. Maybe there's a scuttle crab to take, but it's like Karthus is so much faster than a Poppy that even after like looking top lane, going for scuttle crab, he can't easily walk in and take away Gromp or Wolves because Karthus is gonna be running straight back to that side.
Yeah, and it's also, you get to see, that's also the nature of champions like Poppy versus Karthus. You don't have champions that clear jungle fast or that can like skirmish the Karthus at all. Like, what's Poppy gonna do? She's gonna find Karthus and then what?
Yeah,
that's just it.
Run away.
Have some tea.
Yeah,
die.
Maybe.
Yeah. Her only play is to, you know, try to mismatch the jungle, which I think Sheo did a good job at just mismatching the jungle for the whole time. Sure, he kept losing camps over and over again, but that's kind of the only thing he can do once he falls behind like this. Just mismatch the jungler, try to get someone else ahead. But the problem is that I think, and now it's the reverse of the first game, all of Fnatic's wins are winning and you don't have playmaking at all.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to take a look at the mid lane as well, Ender, because it went from bad to worse, and they just had control all over the map. And with that Karthus on top of it, then yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Karthus W is just really annoying when you're playing a mid laner without mobility, and Nuke wants to trade forward because he got this good trade. Of course, Humanoid can just jump on in immediately, and there's just way too much damage even looking for the turret dive with the W reset. Dude just W'd like 3 times in half a second. Insane. But then the second play is where it gets real clever. Because Trymbi gets in here. Humanoid flashes to get the ult over to Trymbi, who Q flashes for the guaranteed knockup, pumps him back into the Karthus. Like, oh my god.
It's not like it's even not all necessary, but it's like adding insult to injury. It looks so cool.
You guys saw how dizzy Cassio was. She was like, who can I ult? And she ulted nothing because she's like, her mind was blown. There's just too many things happening in that play. It's like, well, there's just nothing for me to do.
I think Nuke got like hit out of the server. With
he did. He's gonna come back though. At 6 minutes in terms of XP and gold, Ender, it was.
It's just showing like where the resources went, right? So we can pull up these magical graphics. Yeah, Razork obviously dominating the game. Adam the strongest in terms of what BDS was doing. But yeah, Razork took that level lead, right? Where he's at that point 2 levels over Sheo. Like Sheo has less EXP than his support. Labrov! What? So he's 2.5 levels up there. That continues with gold as well. I think we can actually show maybe Razork at 14 as well, because at the end of the game, he was up 5,000, but he maintained that 2-level, almost minimum lead over Sheo throughout the entire time.
But okay, let's be real. That's just catch-up XP being a thing, because at one point, I was backstage and I was like, oh man, Karthus is up 15 camps. oh, but he's only a level and a half ahead because Poppy, like that's just how jungle works. And I'm like, man, that shouldn't work like that because Karthus was exceptional this game.
It's fine. He's still ruffle stuff.
He had a 4K.
Yeah. Anyways.
Let us chill. Let us chill.
Yeah. 1-on-1, we'll see if we see big changes from either direction as we get into Game 3, and we'll see who takes the lead. We'll be right back.
I couldn't think of better partners.
Thanks, bro.
Going out with a bang.
Except, of course, Medic and Dag.
Shut
They can't hear you, they just see the hug. I hate this guy. I hate him. Despise him.
Camp right, there's no way you can get there in time, so it's a dive top angle.
Wonder what can you actually do to get out of this one? Absolutely nothing.
And, what? You got inside
knock back, instant combo, what? It's big ball. Oh my god! What? Oh,
they're playing tennis with Nuke!
Oh my god! That was one of the coolest things I have seen!
Holy